Alright, this is Demonocalypse. It was suggested to me a while ago that I go back through my garage and just do another garage episode. So, here we go. I have 3 American tanks, 3 German tanks, 2 French tanks, and 5 Russian tanks. USA consists of T-20, fully upgraded, 110 hit points, 34-ton maximum weight, 560 horsepower, max speed is 56 kilometers an hour, 37 degrees a second traverse speed, hull armor is 6350, 38, turret armor is 50, 88, 63, 63, 180, 300 standard shell damage, standard shell penetration is 120 to 200, rate of fire rounds per minute 6.39, so a little under 10 seconds per round, 42 turret traverse speed degrees a second. View range is 385 and signal range is 615. For the most part, it's fun to play in so long as I remember to play it correctly. You cannot try to run off by yourself. It's more of a sniper tank than anything else because even though it is an American tank, it does not have a great deal of turret armor. Most American tanks do have good turret armor in one form or another. Like just the T-29 has 200 some on the front of the turret, and that's enough to dissuade most attackers. You will be shot a lot with this thing. Okay, then you got a T-29, 1,250 hit points, 66.8 maximum ton load capacity, 760 horsepower, 35 kilometers an hour max speed, 25 degrees a second traverse speed, 102, 76, and 51 millimeters hull armor, 279, 127, and 101 turret armor, 240 to 400 standard shell damage, 149 to 248 standard shell penetration, 5.25 rate of fire rounds per minute. Fairly long reload time, but like everything's maxed out right now. Technically, if I really wanted to, I'd be able to just pick up the shell rammer. It would increase my rounds per minute to 5.8 or so. I think that's doing the math correctly. Whatever. Turret traverse speed is 26 degrees a second. Fairly slow, but you can't really blame it. View range is 376. Signal range is 745. It kind of galls me that there is no tank that can see over 500 meters. I can see why it's necessary on smaller maps, but I think technically, depending upon the size of the map, the maximum view range should adjust along with it. Like if you have a kilometer by a kilometer, maximum view range is um, 500. If you got 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer, then it would be 750 maximum view range for meters. Like I can understand small maps, you can't have a lot of view range or else everyone would be able to see everyone. But on larger maps, I really think it's necessary to have larger view ranges. Just my 2 cents on that. All right, here is my M18 Hellcat. Fast little bugger, doesn't have a lot of armor, and the gun sucks right now. I still need around 4,000 experience to unlock the turret so that I can actually put a good gun on it, fit the 90 millimeter on it. Like the armor sucks right now. Total hit points with this turret is 550. I assume that's going to go up to around 600, 650 once I get the next turret on there. 21.8 tons maximum load capacity. That is with the upgraded track on it. 460 engine power, that's max. 72 kilometers an hour speed limit. Very fast, but it takes a while to get up to it. I'm assuming you're going to be able to get up to it faster once I get a better driver here. And that's Corporal Austin Mitchum. Traverse speed is 32 degrees a second. Not that bad, but it still takes a while to turn. Hull armor is 13, 13, 13. Turret armor is 25, 13, 13. Once I get the upgraded turret, it'll be 76, 31, 44. Kind of odd in my opinion that the side armor is weaker than the rear armor, but strange things happen. Standard shell damage 86 to 144. Standard shell penetration 96 to 160. 18.75 rate of fire rounds a minute. 16 degrees a second turret traverse speed. Incredibly slow. I cannot emphasize enough that this is mainly a sniper tank. Once I get the 90 millimeter on there, it'll be able to perform a lot better as such, but the armor just isn't there currently for being a sniper tank, and the penetration with the gun is not there as of yet either. 370 meters view range, 745 signal range. Another thing with being a sniper is that I can't play as a sniper. It's just too boring for me. Alright, VK3002DB. Did an entire episode on this. Didn't like how it turned out, so I just kind of got rid of it. 1,180 hit points. That's not the max. I still have to get the same turret on there that I've had unlocked since tier 4. Anyways, I'm really hoping to either get the 88 quick on there or the 36L56 or the 42L28 on there. I think I may want to switch with 10.5 simply because it's just barely slower than it, and high explosive will be able to hurt a lot more things than the 88 will. But it's a kind of shit which one I'm really going to take. 650 horsepower engine, 56 kilometers an hour speed limit. I still haven't gotten the upgraded engine on it, so I haven't, like, my average speed right now with the beginning engine's around 30, 40. It's not that fast, but I'm assuming once I get the better engine, I should be able to get up to the 56. Traverse speed is 36 degrees a second. Hull armor is 80, 45, 40. In an episode I deleted, had actually managed to bounce around from an IS-3 off the side here. I just like extremely angled it, and I'm surprised that 45 millimeters armor held up. It's like it was an extreme range, like from right here, so kind of makes sense. But you really can't expect to hold up against a lot of things unless they're going to hit you from the front at an angle like this. But even then, this poses a good target. It's kind of weird that they have those lumps there as well, but I'm sure they had a purpose. Either that or it's just incorrectly modeled, and that's supposed to be the driver's slit. So you can see these welds don't look very good either, but that's just my personal opinion. Turret armor 80, 45, 45. So it's got slightly more rear armor. Once I get the upgraded turret 120, 60, 60, going to reduce my traverse speed a little bit, but 30 degrees a second is still very competitive. 101 to 169 standard shell damage, 104 to 173 standard shell penetration. If you face anything higher than a tier 8, you're pretty much screwed with this thing unless you got the secondary turret with a 10.5 or the 8.8 on there. But that's really just my opinion. 10.5 rate of fire rounds a minute, that is the maximum, not what I actually have available. 46 degrees a second traverse speed, 350 view range. With the upgraded to it, you get 367. Signal range is 710. I do have the best radio on there. All right. Now I actually have fairly good games with this tank. So the Panzerkampf 6 Tiger P, 1,450 hit points, 65.2 maximum weight limit, 670 engine power, 35 speed limit, 22 traverse speed. It actually seems faster than that on all accounts simply because of the size of the tank itself. Like some of the sizes of the tanks, I think they're not actually to scale because it just seems weird that like some tanks they weigh like 3 times as much and they're still the exact same size. Like there's got to be something going on the inside that I'm not seeing here. Maybe a lighter alloy or something, but I don't know. 600 front armor, 200 front armor, 80 side, 80 rear. Note that the 200 is only on this front plate and this front area here. Down here, I think it's around 80 as well. Same with these side areas here. If you get lucky, you can probably try to get a shell through here into here, or I think there may be a reduced armor area with the gunner port there, but honestly, I don't know. I've never tried shooting there. If I get from the side, I can probably end up hitting here just as easily with it. Standard shell damage is 180 to 300. I usually average around 230, 250. Standard shell penetration 152 to 254. It seems weird that there's such a large gap between what will penetrate and what won't, but rate of fire 7 rounds a minute. I'm supposed to get, yeah, 7 rounds a minute's the maximum. 7.7 if I throw a gun rammer on there, but like some people, let's just take a look. Large caliber, negative 10% loading speed, loading time. So I'm not even going to look at it. 23 degrees a second turret traverse speed. It's a sniper tank. It's going to have a slow turret traverse speed to make sure that the gun remains on target better. Um, Once I get these people more able, it should be easier. But right now I have everything maxed out for it, and I'm just waiting for credits. I really want to try to get eventually spend some money, maybe get a low or a KV5 and just see how much credits I can pull in with that. It definitely increase the rate at which I progress through the tiers. Okay, here's my Stug. I currently have it fitted with the 7.5. Sometimes I wish I'd brought the 10.5 instead, simply because I seem to run into high tier tanks more often than I'd like. I bounce a good deal of shells off the front 80 degrees at these angles. This is fairly good, but unless I get support for my sides and rear, I'm kind of screwed. Like one match earlier today, I was helping snipe some enemy tanks and trying to protect an area, and the tank that I thought was going to support me on our flank completely just ran off and tried to cap the enemy base. Needless to say, he got his ass blown off. So, anyways, 350 hit points, 22.4 maximum weight limit, 440 engine power, 440 speed limit kilometers an hour, 44 traverse speed, 80 30 30 hull armor. The 80, I'm fairly certain, is on this entire front plate, but I don't really know. I know the driver area here is a lot lower than that, but I'm not sure how much lower. With this gun, 101 to 169, 104 to 173, rate of fire is 13.46, fairly fast, but I've seen faster. I mean, most of the American tanks get a lot faster with this, but in close space like that, with that kind of gun, I think it's fair. 44 gun traverse speed degrees a second. Considering I only have about maybe 66 maximum degrees on this, I'd say that it's worth it, I guess. But you remain on target fairly accurately. The only thing I really hate about all of the TDs is really the view range. It's a lot lower than any other tank, and there's no really good way to improve it rather than shoving on a bunch of really expensive modules. Signal range is also rather low on this, only 415 meters. So you can complain about that rather easily. Okay, French. I don't know why, but like the entire French tech tree up to here just seems like utter crap. Like, I can't stand the AMX 12 ton here, just 12T, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's just such a piece of shit. I mean, I don't even need to mount the. You don't even need to mount the new suspension on it to mount everything good on it. So, but minimalistic up and down on it. The penetration for the gun sucks. I mean, I've bounced so many rounds with this damn thing. People laugh at me. It's like, why the fuck do we even have it? But 420 hit points. It's got fairly good hit points, I'd say, for a tier 5 light, but it's a piece of shit. Again, I've I've died to it once or twice, but I think it's just the way I play with it. Either that or I just get extremely unlucky. Well, most of the time I'm completely outmatched with all the other tanks it's rolling with at the time. So 250 horsepower speed limit. I've 60 kilometers an hour max speed limit. I've never gotten up to 60 kilometers an hour. The fastest I think I've ever gotten to is maybe 52. Like, and that was on a long downhill, but you really need a long downhill to reach that maximum 60. Max I've ever run on a flat plane is maybe 48 or so. Traverse speed is slow, 38 degrees a second. Hull armor is 50, 20, 15. Front armor is fairly good, but most of the time you'll be engaging people from the side or the rear, so it's mostly worthless. The turret armor, like at these with these angles here, I'm fairly certain this is the 40 degrees here, is good. I bounced off of that. I have had people bounce off of that as well. Um, Standard shell damage is fairly low, 83 to 138. I mean, with a 75, it just doesn't do a lot of damage. And then you got 81 to 135 standard shell penetration. It sucks, say the least. 13.17 rate of fire per minute. I don't know if they count, because this is the autoloader thing they had. I don't know if the revolver in here, like, it just feels weird to me, because I think there should be like a huge pivot right here, because you load it in here um, with the point going out, then it just rotates around, should rotate around, and then be fitted here, fire, and then it just ejects out the back of the turret, I think. That's how it would go anyways in my universe. Traverse speed is fairly fast, 44 degrees a second. It's faster than the traverse speed of the tracks, which means it's easier to keep your gun on the target. 360 view range, not that bad. 360 signal range, that fucking sucks. Yeah, I got the best one you can get. Right now, I'm just waiting now for the 1375. I'm hoping it gets better, because most of the time the French tanks so far have utterly sucked. BDRG-1B, 650 health points, 40 maximum weight limit, 350 horsepower, 30 speed limit, 24 traverse speed, 60 40 60 hull armor, 80 70 60 turret armor, 180 300 standard shell damage, 101 to 169 standard shell penetration. Rate of fire is 6.32, turret versus 26 degrees a second, 320. View range is signal range is 290. I haven't upgraded anything with this tank yet. Right now I have enough experience to get the upgrade for the engine and the radio. I am not going to get them, however, because they are dead enders. BDRG-1B only compatible vehicle. BDRG-1B and B1 only compatible vehicles with that. I avoided getting that upgrade with the B1 simply because I knew the BDRG-1B is kind of dead ending on that. I mean, it's kind of worth it, but I just don't want to grab it. Now, the gun itself seems like it's meant to be a sniper gun, because it's 90 millimeters caliber. Penetration is 135, which isn't that good at range. Everything here is at 100 meters. Most of the time I'm engaging people well over 100 meters. It just doesn't seem worth it. Average damage is fairly good for that, 240. I mean, it ranges 60-60 in either direction. The only thing that really brings it down is the rate of fire. I mean, with the KV-1 separation, KV-1 has 120 millimeters penetration, 85 millimeter gun. It's got a faster reload time. That's what really separates it apart. Just grab that real quick. Yeah, it gets a double rate of fire, more than enough penetration to hurt anything in its tier 1 to 2 tiers above it. Average damage is 160, so you get 320 damage out of this gun in the same time it takes to fire once with that gun. So from start reload, you can fire 2 shots with the 85 F30 before you can get 1 shot off with the 90 millimeter there. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little because the 90 millimeter can get 6.32, so it takes slightly less time, but it takes like 4 seconds right now with the 85 millimeter just to fire off a round. So it's fairly accurate. The 85 millimeter is a little less accurate, and it takes a little bit longer to aim. That's why I say the 90 millimeter is a bit more of a sniper weapon, but the tank itself sucks so badly, is so slow, has so little armor that you just will not want to take it out. The BDR-G1B is a sniper tank, plain and simple, but it's too slow to get in good sniper positions. Its armor will not withstand heavy shelling from any distance whatsoever, and for the most part, it's a bad tank. That's at least my professional view on it. Now here's my T-34-85. Fairly good tank. I haven't been using it to its full potential, is the best way I can put it. I know people do good on this with this tank. I cannot. The current setup I have it with is mostly a sniper tank with the 100 millimeter D10. Now I have everything maxed out as much as possible. I'm gonna try to pick up the 85 millimeter here and then go for the T43. I already got the KV13. I hated that thing so dang much. The armor sucked. Like I only had one good game with it, but I'm digressing here. 690 hit points, 35.3 ton weight limit, 500 horsepower, 54 speed limit, 40 traverse speed, 45, 45, 45 hull armor, 115, 90, 75 turret armor, 173, 288 standard shell damage, 131, 219 standard shell penetration, 6.18 rate of fire, 46 degrees a second turret traverse speed, 350 view range, 525 um, signal range. Now, for the most part, the current setup is mostly a sniper tank simply due to the long reload time. I can do quite a bit of damage with the D10 here, but it kind of works against me with the current way I play it, because I don't play it like I should, is really the best way I can put it. But with the turret armor, if you want to try sniping in peekaboo, you can probably do fairly well by doing that. I think I gotta go through this. Uh, I'll save that idea for a different video. But peekaboo sniper would probably be the better thing with this gun. If you want to choose the 85, it's got slightly better firing rate. You probably want to get a gun rammer on there as well. 10.31 rounds a minute, so it'd be a little bit under a 6-second reload. Right now, I got around a 9-second reload. Well, 10 or 11 with the current skill level of my crew. The 85 would be for brawling, the 100 would be for ranged, and then you got the ZIS S53, which basically is the same as the F30, but they don't want to admit it. I'm sticking with the large caliber guns. I'll just say that. The KV-1, people have complained surprisingly a lot about this tank since they did the switch. For me, the 85 here, the 85 F30 was like exactly what I was hoping for. Like first when I got the T28, T-28, and then moved to the KV3, it's like, where did that awesome sniper gun go? It's like they stuck me with the 76, the 57, and then the 122. It's like, where did that awesome sniper weapon go? And it's like, finally, I'm getting it. The gun is good at range. It's got a fast reload rate, especially with the turret here. It's got good penetration for the tier. I mean, it's a tier 6 gun, you're a tier 5. You get the tier 6 gun at a tier 4 on the T-28, and it's a great gun. Stats on it are 640 health hit points when you're fully upgraded, 55.8 ton low limit, 500 horsepower, 34 kilometers an hour speed limit, 20 traverse speed, 75, 70 hull armor, 110, 110, 110 turret armor, 120 to 600, 200 standard shell penetration, 90 to 150 standard shell penetration, 12 rate of fire, 24 turret traverse speed, 310 view range, and 440 signal range. For some reason, the KV-1, the KV-2, and the KV-3 are all like slow tanks that still feel fast. They feel good to be driven. You just want to drive them. Like, really, it's like I'm still going like 30 kilometers an hour, and I feel fast because it's the size of the tank and how it's moving. Like the AMX 12 ton here. it's a small tank. You're going like 50 kilometers an hour, but you still feel slow. I, it's hard for me to describe, but that's really the best way I can say it. I still feel slow going at that speed with a small tank. A big tank like this, I mean, it'll probably be accentuated once I get to the higher tiers where they're faster and larger. But at this tier, this speed, I still feel fast. It's kind of hard to explain. And you probably see that I have the doubles up and running, but like I just got back from school. It's like 11 at night, and I just thought I'd do this real quick. Anyways, 806. This is my KV2, the big 107. People complained when this got moved to tier 6. It got moved to where it needed to be. It's a good tank. If you're complaining, you're a dumbass. It's still the tank you'll know and love. You get the same tier matchmaking that you did before. It's just a higher tier. It's a bit more expensive to run, yes, but as long as you're not an idiot, you make money on it. And believe me, I've done plenty of idiot moves with this and still get made money. So as long as you get like 4 or 5 accurate shots off full damage with the gun, you're gonna do fine. Anyways, 860 hit points, 60.8 ton maximum load limit, 500 engine power, 35 speed limit, 220 traverse speed degrees a second, 75, 75, 70 hull armor, 90, 75, 70 turret armor. Uh, that's kind of the only thing that I'm a little pissed about is that they downgraded our turrets a little bit. I think they did anyways. I cannot remember the actual armor of the turrets before the patch, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, getting shot in the turret, usually I'm in a higher tier match. They're going to pen me anyways, even if I have 110 armor, so it doesn't matter. 225 to 375 standard shell damage, 125 to 209 standard shell penetration, 6.19 rate of fire rounds a minute. For the 107, that's good. At tier 6, that is good damage. I'm not exactly the DPM. I'm not sure what the actual DPM is on that, theoretical or otherwise, but it still works fairly well. Turret traverse speed is slow, but what can you do? Really, it's good because big gun takes a long time to aim. You don't want a fast turret traverse speed or else it'll throw off the calibrations and stuff. But 330 maximum view range, 360 signal range. Now, the one thing I've really been keeping this around for is just to get a high tier artillery unit, the S-51 here. I only need an additional 7 to 8 thousand experience to get it. And after that, I'll be able to field a large caliber artillery unit. I'll have to figure out what the hell I'm going to get rid of for that, though. I mean, after I level out the Stug here, I'm probably going to get rid of that. But I have so many Russian tanks that I just feel like I have to get rid of one of them. But like the KV1 plays well, the KV2 plays well, the KV3 plays well. The IS I'm going to upgrade. What am I going to do? I don't really know. But anyways, here is the IS. Currently, I have the D25T on here, slightly faster reload rate, 0.79 rounds per minute over this. I noticed a little bit of difference, but not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, put a gun rammer on here, it's probably going to do a lot better. Now, total hit points 1,230. I do have the maximum turret and everything maximized on here, so 48.4 ton weight limit, 600 engine horsepower, 34 kilometers an hour speed limit, 35 traverse degrees a second traverse speed, 120, 90, 60 hull armor, 100, 100, 100 turret armor. That's one thing, like, unless you're facing them from the front, like front armor, just aim for the driver's area. If you're aiming from the side and you can see the side of their turret, just aim for the turret. It's a much larger target, and that way you also don't have to worry about critical hitting the tracks or the engine or the fuel compartments, because quite literally, if you shoot one of these in real life, it's gonna fucking explode. So standard shell damage 293 to 488. I have one shot a few different tanks with this, M4s, M4 Shermans, and myriad of other tier 5s with it. So 131 to 219 standard shell penetration, 4.86 rate of fire, 28 turret traverse speed, 350 view range, 625 signal range. And once I get these up to get guys up to maximum, I can pretty much idealize on all of these. The IS, I think I actually prefer the KV-1S to the IS. Just because at its tier, I got better matchmaking. I still had the same kick-ass gun, and I think it's faster too, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I got to pull it up here. I know this is getting long, and I'm kind of getting off track once in a while, but KV-1S, vehicle details. Yeah, speed limit 43. Get a little bit faster off of it, but I really preferred that tank, even if the like the oh bitch. I guess I stayed online and didn't do anything for so long that I thought it should disconnect me. Oh, NDK Man's online. Whatever. Anyways, last tank, KB3, 1,300 hit points, 71.8 weight limit tons, 600 horsepower. I can get an upgraded engine for that, but since it can only be used on the KV3, I'm kind of cautious getting it. Because it's like 12,000 experience, I might as well just keep on going for the KV4. Like this would be able to use on the KV4, I'd get it. No question about it, I'd get it, but it's not usable on the KV4, so I really don't see the freaking point. And then I also got the S-31 85mm gun that I'm not picking up. And then like the 107mm disc 24 that you can get on the KV4. Seems like a good gun. It's a bit of a grind though. I'm just glad you don't have to get a turret upgrade before you can put it on there. Other than that, speed limit 32, 18, 120, 90, 80, 130, 115, 115. Armors 293, 488 standard shell damage. I have the same gun that I have on the IS on my KV3 here. It still works fairly well. I get a slightly faster rate of fire on this one. It's like 0.02 faster. I mean, I got two loaders on this tank, and I got one loader on that tank, and they can only pull off a 0.02 faster. It's like, what's the point in having the extra loader? I think the turret, like, overall the tank is larger. You can hold more shells. That it doesn't really matter. Turret traverse speed is 22 degrees a second, 340 view range, 730 signal range. Now, I think I should be able to pull this up relatively quickly. Yeah. Now, this is odd. Every single match I've been in with this thing, I've won. I've survived 4 of them, and like I know this doesn't say much because I don't play this game as much as a lot of people do. I mean, my service record will just show that because I don't have a lot of matches on hand. But like my KV3 here, 100% of victories. That's only in 5 matches though, so it's kind of pathetic. Hit ratio is 85%. Damage dealt total 5,035. Total experience gained in those 5 battles is 2,826. So technically, that's not that good, but it works fairly well. I mean, my service record, I think I only have like, yeah, I have less than 4,000. I have 3,413 matches overall. I don't play that often. I mean, my victory rate is fairly good, 53%. I mean, that's mostly down to luck. Defeats is 45%, which leaves 2% to ties. Do you like that? No. And like this is what I hate. My T-150, the tank that is absolute crap, had all my stats from my KV3 transferred over onto it, which means like my destroyed 3,111, my maximum destroyed in battle is 8. I get that with my T-150. I never took that tank into battle. That stat I got from my KV3. I want that stat to be with my KV3. And my accuracy sucks as well. Maximum experience per battle is in my Tiger P. I have no idea what I did in that battle, or even if I recorded it at one point. But yeah, that's basically Garage currently where I'm sitting with all my tanks. So, this has been Demonocalypse. Thank you for watching.